Hello again, welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH, and I am back for, I guess, take 2 of my attempt to do this video. Recorded a version of this last night, only to discover that it only recorded the first few minutes and then stopped for no reason. So, yay for that. The game we're looking at this time here is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. And hopefully if this gets recorded correctly, I'll upload this today. And before we get started, this is my first video for the month of October. And I've done some kind of, there typically are several horror games that come out over time, so that's the one sort of holiday where it is kind of easier to do themed content, like cover some horror games for the month of Halloween, that kind of thing. I think it was last year, maybe the year before, I can't keep track anymore, but I did a Let's Play for Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. Probably not going to do any Let's Plays this year. I thought about doing one for Soma, I really did. But when I started playing it, I really wanted to play that on my own, without recording, without commentary, because I wanted to have it, just experience the game on my own. It just seemed like the right thing to do. I will cover the game, however. Haven't recorded the video just yet, but I will be covering that at some point here this month, if all goes well. Soma, and I will be covering Soma. And I will be covering other horror games that I already have queued up and recorded, so that'll be good to go. Tony Hawk 5. What a way to kick off the month. It is maybe not as bad as it was on launch day, but kind of a horror game in its own right. The Tony Hawk series has been interesting. The first 3 or 4 games were fantastic. Like, Tony Hawk 1 made me go buy a PlayStation for that game, because I played the demo at a cousin's house. I'm like, holy crap, this game is amazing. The first level, just the addictive gameplay. I have to admit, the Superman song that they had in the demo really helped. That was just a really fitting. Everything about the first few games were fantastic. Then they started branching off into like Tony Hawk's Underground, Skateland, and then they got into all this nonsense with like peripherals. Like they had that Tony Hawk skateboard game. I don't even remember what Tony Hawk Ride, I think it was called, and that was just a disaster. Never played it, had no inkling to play it. And then they had, what was it called, Downhill Jam for the Wii. I bought it, and it was really meh, kind of because it was only one of those things, like, there wasn't much to play at that time, so it's like, I'll give it a shot. I like Tony Hawk. And it was not very good. So after all that, we got Tony Hawk HD, which I covered the PC version on the channel early on. And I was hoping that would be a triumphant return. Nope. The controls in that were just kind of jank. It was not near as responsive as it needed to be. The PC port was gimped all to hell. The Xbox version was a little better, but it still had the control issues. So, yeah. Now they're back for Tony Hawk 5, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, and I'm playing the Xbox One version, streaming it to my PC here. So, main menu, kind of small print on the main menu here, but not terrible. Got good contrast overall anyway. For the most part, you do get some of the background changing, so that can be a little bit of an issue. But I myself don't have too much trouble with it. I see where some people definitely could when the background's changing like that all the time. Before I go to play, let's go to the custom skater thing here. Here's where you choose what skater you want to play as. There are a lot of them. You have male skaters, female skaters. Good variety of them. And if I hit X, I can customize my skater. You see on the left there, as I complete goals in the career mode, I can upgrade my skater's skill points, and you have things for like grind, ollie, spin, speed, vert tricks. Now, I'm a street skater. I don't really do as much vert ramp stuff. I'm much more focused on like manuals and grinds and things like that. So I've been starting to improve that. And then in the middle there, you can customize like your different move sets if you want to. You can customize your special moves, your special tricks. I'm just leaving them as is. I just want to basically play the game and go from there. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in it. It works. It's serviceable. Sure. I'll go in and update my stat points whenever I can get some extra, whenever I complete some objectives. So let's back out of that. And let's hop right into it here. So I go to play. Now, this game is really weird. So, in theory, I see what they're going for, and I get it. But I kind of still wish like I wish there was just like a single player thing and then a multiplayer thing. You could choose which one. So what happens here, we have 3 choices here. Nice giant letters here, no problem there. We have THPS levels, which are the ones that are actually created for the game, of course. My levels, which are the ones that I created, which I haven't created anything because I haven't touched the level editor just yet. And we have player-created levels. I'll probably jump into there before we wrap up the video. Let's go to THPS levels. Now, I've unlocked two areas so far. Let's go into the first one real quick. Now, on the left here, what they've done now, if you're used to the old Tony Hawk games where you would go into a level for 2 minutes, you would try to complete as many objectives as possible, your timer would end, and then you pop back in, and then you had free skate as a separate mode. That's different. Now we're just going to be plopped into the level on free skate, and they're giving you some free skate objectives on the left there. So I can collect skate, I can collect combo, these letters. The difference is skate I can collect each letter independently. Combo, I have to collect all the letters in one string of tricks. Otherwise, I have to start all over. So you have to map out where all the letters are and then do them all in one trick run. And then you'll have a couple of other levels, or a couple of other objectives. Now, when you, on the right-hand side, these are the ones where you go into these, these are more the specific ones for the level itself, the timed ones. So let's just join the level. And what's weird is you're always sort of online. See, we already got a character on the right over there. So what this is, you're put into this lobby. You don't really affect each... Oh, that's going to land badly. Okay. You are put into this area. You don't really affect each other. You can run each over. You can smash into each other on purpose or by accident. But that's about it. Now you can invite people to like a private match, or there's different game modes that you can play. You can do some of the actual career objectives as multiplayer. I haven't done that yet. I really don't have any inkling to do that, really, unless I actually knew somebody else in the game. I just not really super into the random, like, I don't play multiplayer with random people very often online. And as I totally bite it there in front of the Mountain Dew can there, Mountain Dew garbage can, product branding, there you go. I should also mention, the game is probably pretty quiet. You do hear some skateboarding sounds. But you are not going to hear music because I turned it off. Because, as I've said in other videos, YouTube is not very friendly unless you are a special privileged few who can get away with it and not get in trouble for whatever reason. Copyright music, you're going to get a video strike, and then you have to fight it and whatever, and I don't want any part of that, really. I'm like, you know what, I'll just turn the dang music off. Also, I will say, like the past games, like Tony Hawk 1 through 3, they had some pretty good songs. I didn't like all of them, but, oh gee, okay, that works. They had some decent songs. I kind of got into it. They fit the game, they fit the mood of the game pretty well. And, yeah, so this one, There are a couple songs that are okay. You know, you got your standard mix of like punk and hip hop and whatever. Nothing really stands out to me though. I really don't. There's nothing that's like, oh yeah, this song is great. You know, I really want to hear this. Oh, get up. Yeah, there we go. Break that thing. There's just nothing. The soundtrack really doesn't do it for me. So, other than the fact that it's background noise and it kind of still fits the game, there's my O and combo. One of them. Yeah, not feeling the soundtrack in this game. Not feeling it really at all. So before I go into objectives here, let me talk a little bit about how the game plays. Now, if you have played a Tony Hawk game before, there are some changes, and I'm going to go ahead and say, ooh, as I bite it up there, I'm going to say they're not all good. One of the things that drives me absolutely crazy is what I just did there. You know, the controls, if you've played a Tony Hawk game, you are immediately going to know how to play this because the controls are identical. They are pretty much identical. Now, where was that other one there? I think I found one of the ones that I was missing before. Let's grab... Nope! Hold on. I got sidetracked. I want these boxes. I think there's one more over here. So the controls are the same. The problem is with the grind. You hit Y to grind, as it always been and as it always should be. Problem is, it also does this new move. I think they call it the slam. That's basically what it does. So here, I'm going to skate a little bit. Here's my ollie, regular jump. If I'm in the air, let me do another one here. Hit Y, boom. See, I do this kind of slam. So wherever I am, it just goes, you know, slams right to the ground. I can see where that would sometimes be helpful. Like if I overshoot a jump and I want to actually get on a rail to grind, it can be useful. However, several games of muscle memory and the way that grinds have worked before have really conditioned me to be like, okay, well, I know if I'm near a rail and I hit Y, it'll kind of, you know, give me the benefit of the doubt of as long as I'm not too far away. It will... Oh, there's my other thing right there. I need it. I need it. There's my other boxes. Let's see. Let's go this way. Don't grind. Boom. Alright, I gotta find what? One more? So it's kind of forgiving as far as the grinds go. Oh, there's... There we go. But in this one, I find myself, like, I hit the grind too early, and instead of going over to the railing that I'm near, it will... What are you doing, skater? It will just slam down, and then I'll screw up a combo, and I'll, you know, especially if I'm doing a manual and whatever, and it just screws everything up. Ooh, did I get the objective? Sweet! Finally did that one. Alright, good. So we got that objective done, one of our free skate objectives. The other difference is, now you still have your manuals and your reverts. Your manuals connect ground tricks, so when I go and grind, I'll grind the rail here, I'll grind the side of the pool. I'll jump, do a grind, so now you have the up and down meter there. You're riding on the tail or the front of your skateboard, and then you're connecting ground tricks. Your revert lets you do like a little spin as you land a vert trick, a ramp trick, and then, excuse me, a transfer into a manual or another trick or something like that. So it's a way to connect really long strings of combos. The other thing that they've changed, oops, that's a bad place to do it because there's so much along that wall. Let's do this. Oh, no. There we go. Little wall ride there. Before, the wall rides were manuals. You did them manually, like you kind of had to go at an angle and then you kind of grinded, hit the grind button to do that. Now they're automatic, which in some cases I can say is maybe okay. But again, on the other side, like if you have like some kind of obstacle or some kind of object that you're trying to skate or interact with that's near a wall, I can see where that might become frustrating over time. So I have mixed feelings on that. I don't really, unless it's like required to really get somewhere, I don't do a lot of wall rides. Sometimes I will, but not a lot. The manual, the whatchamacallit, the slam is the one that really screws me up. I'm getting a little better. I find myself as a, tried to record this other version of the video, played a little bit. I'm getting a little bit better. And what I will say in its benefit, I don't know how it was the moment the game launched, because everyone was complaining it was just absolutely horrendous. I didn't get to play it until I got home that day from work. But the controls, the actual, like, there's not lag. They're more responsive than Tony Hawk HD. They just feel more right. Like, they don't... Yeah, see, I totally biffed. See, he would have actually kind of... That stupid... God, I wish I could turn that off. I really wish I could turn that off. But the controls actually seem pretty responsive. Now, that could be partially the game. It could also partially be... the Xbox One controller. Because remember, when I played Tony Hawk HD, I was playing with the 360 controller, and the D-pad on that thing sucks pretty hard. Now you notice that my, I forgot, I haven't done that in a while, my little skateboard, that I had a blue trail following me for a while. If you're up in the top there, you have a meter that shows you, as you do successful tricks and you don't wipe out, you will... See there, I did it again. Now I can do special moves. I can do my special tricks. And, whether it's vert tricks or grinds or whatever, for a period of time. And it obviously makes your score do better. So, there is that. Oh, geez, that's... Okay, I can't believe I landed that. So, here's our pause menu. All we've been doing is free skating right now. I completed one goal. Nothing much I can do in here. What we really want to do... actually, let me go over to one of these little icons. You've seen a couple of these little, like, teardrop-shaped things in the level. Those are objective markers or mission markers, like where you can trigger an event. However, I don't even bother with that. Sorry, dude. I don't even really bother with that. Instead, what I do is I hit the select button or the back button and bring up this menu. Now, again, I'm in a lobby. I can invite people to a private match. I could, try to choose a game mode for somebody. We could do a party. We could party up with people, and that's fine. But I'm going to go down to mission. I should also mention really quickly before I go into mission, I looked under like some of the multiplayer modes, and I don't remember seeing my favorite mode from the first few Tony Hawk games, graffiti, is nowhere to be seen. And that is sacrilege. That is really bad. That is really, really bad, because in college we played the hell out of that mode. That makes me very sad. So, we got our top one here. It's a score attack. There's like an amateur, a pro, and a sick level. Basically your 3-star levels there. Sure, I'll go into it just to show you. Now, like I said, if I was partied up with some people, I could do it multiplayer. But I'm going to go single player, because I'm not partied up with anyone. So now you go into a loading screen, and you load an instance of the same level. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. The game froze. Fantastic. That's never happened to me before. Okay, you go into a mission objective and the game locks up and kicks you back to the dashboard. That's how objectives work. Okay. That was unplanned, but so as you can tell, there is still some jank in this game. I should mention this is a $60 game. Now look at this, the Activision logo is glitchy. Like, the sound should not break up like that. It's done that every time I've gone into the game. Robomoto. A logo screen should not glitch. What is up with that? So we'll go back in here and we'll try this again. I hope to God it's recording this time. Hope it didn't quit in the middle of it or I'm going to be really angry. Okay, you load your thing. But like I said, this is a full $60 game. And if you follow me on Twitter, Twitter at BGFH79, cheap plug there. Alright, now we got the music. I gotta hurry up here. Please don't copyright me, please don't copyright me. I don't have a choice because the damn game froze. Yeah, this song actually I don't mind. Okay, options. Not very many options. Okay, what? Okay, so until your profile loads, you get the music. Okay. So there's your options screen. There's nothing hardly there. You get your sound, your gamma, your music, vibration. Very, very bare bones. Alright, let's go to play. Go to a level. Alright, we'll load this, and then we'll just go right in and try to load an objective. This is not a $60 game. What I was saying about Twitter was, if you saw one of my tweets, a couple of my tweets early on, I had said, I feel like a gullible idiot. I fell for it again. I've known the last few Tony Hawk games have been really disappointing. Some of them I didn't even buy because I just wasn't interested. And Tony Hawk HD was a disappointment. So this is our score one. This doesn't stay up here forever. You have to kind of read it quickly. You got your title, you got your objective, and then you got your 3 levels for your amateur, pro, and 6 score. And now we skate and try to get one of these good scores. Here we go. Go, guy. Come on. We haven't got all day here. So, you know, I knew that Tony Hawk HD was bad, but from what I've been hearing from a few people online, and I've seen, watched a few trailers and E3 videos and things like that, and I'm like, even this isn't like the triumphant return of the series. Like, if it's halfway decent, I really, really want a good Tony Hawk game again. I really, really do. And I was an idiot. Pre-ordered it so that it would preload on my system, or it would load up on my system on release date, and then it would be ready for me when I got home from work. Boy, howdy, was I disappointed, because it doesn't seem as bad as it was on launch day, but the game was really broken, man. I mean, the frame rate was terrible in a lot of places. I was having some glitches. This level isn't as bad. But when I go into the second level, oh man, I unlocked that and went, yeah, this is really a mess. Frame rate not good. Oh, come on. Oh, damn it. Didn't keep my manual going. Sometimes moves don't actually register as well. Like, I know I'll hit a button and it just doesn't work. But usually it's pretty responsive. But people were having all kinds of bugs with this game, like just things not loading, the skater falling through the floor, launching into space. When you try to do a vert trick, he just glitches out. Now, the physics have never been perfect in a Tony Hawk game. There's always been a little bit of wonkiness to it. But it's been playable, I haven't had the bad experiences some people have had. I've had some glitches, but not near as bad as before, or as some people have had. So let's get out of that objective. And now we go back to the loading zone. We'll have to load again. And now we go back to the public lobby with people again. So every time you go into one of these objectives, or missions, you load a single-player instance of the level. So I kind of wish that, like, you were just in a single-player level for the career, and it was just a thing of you could play it solo, or you could just invite someone to your game, and then it would just be you and them. And then if they wanted to have like a lobby as it functions here, they could. Yeah, let's do this one. This was kind of a weird one. But yeah, I mean, I really wish that it was like a little bit faster. Like you didn't have to go through so many loadings just to try a different mission. Alright, so now we gotta wait for this to come up. Now it's gonna teleport us to the area of the map that we need to be in. And we are in the pool. And this one we actually have to try to get all of these balls to pop. We have to get them out of the pool, essentially, is what I gather. And the more I can hit at a time... Oh, then I'm not supposed to bail. I have not been able to get them higher than the amateur score on this. Half the time I can't even get all of them out in the time limit. It's harder than it looks. I mean, there could be something really stupid that I'm missing. There could, you know, maybe I shouldn't be catching air. I should really just be trying to skirt the outsides of the pool because I'm killing time coming down from... Oh, okay, I almost bit it there. Okay, that one's done. I mean, there's... When I started playing Tony Hawk 5, I was really down on it. Like, I'm like, this is nowhere near what a true numbered sequel to this game should be. Really down on it. They must have done some... I know they did a day one patch, which is hilarious because I got the digital version of this game. I want to say it was like 4-something gig, but their patch that they released, their day one patch, was like 6 gig or something, which is bigger than the frickin' game. You know, how about if you're gonna release a game, you guys, like the one, like, I did it digitally, so it's all digital, whatever, but if somebody actually bought a disc for this nonsense, like, the disc that you get is unplayable. See, I didn't even make it that time, because I didn't get that last stupid ball out of the pool. But, you know, that's just one objective I'll show you here. Just give you guys an idea of what kind of goals are in the game. But as I've been playing it, like I said, the controls aren't bad. The frame rate and the responsiveness, like, sometimes can be an issue. But the other thing is, it kind of lacks some of the, I don't know if I want to say, like, lacks some of the soul of the other games. It's just, it just doesn't have the same impact that the other games used to. And, you know, graphics aren't everything, but at the same time, this does not look anywhere near a current gen Xbox One title. This looks, I mean, I don't mind the art style. I like the, oh Jesus, I like the kind of pseudo cel shaded kind of look. That I don't mind at all. Okay, you're not going to grab that. That's fine. Are there any... No, they're not. Okay, they're up there. Well, basically I have to... In this one I have to collect ice cream cones, not wipe out, and fight the camera. There we go. Okay, grabbed a cone. Oh man, this is just going really badly. Now, I'm not wiping out, but I'm just not going anywhere. Let's get to the pool here, guy. There we go. And the sick objective, I have to get like 60 of these old suckers, so I've been just, you know, yapping and not doing very well at all. At least I haven't wiped out yet, knock on wood. They respawn after a while. But the graphics, like, you know, I don't mind the mixture art style. That I think is actually quite good. But the fidelity of it, it kind of looks like PlayStation 2-esque. Oh man, I'm not even going to get... Oh, I'm going to biff. Okay, yeah, I'm not even going to get to the pool. No, because I got to get all... Yeah, I got to get all the way over. Oh, that was terrible. Well, I'm just kind of giving you the tour anyway, so... You know, I'll come back and try to get the objectives later, but... You know, there you go. There's a few objectives. I guess I can show you one more. I think this one is going to be on all the levels. This seems like a pretty standard thing that they would make you do. Pull up our missions again. And I actually did do well on this one, although I had to do a lot of restarts to make it work. This one, you have to just, they give you a series of rings, kind of like a combo obstacle course that you have to go through, and you have to complete it. And it sounds easy until you just make one little minor goof, and then you just want to start over, which, see, I already screwed up. Well, that wasn't terrible. That could have gone worse. It still kept me fairly on track. Okay. Go here. Jump through there. Oh, really? You didn't jump high enough. Are you freaking kidding me? And then I do that. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to retry. So if I go down to retry, hit yes, then it reloads again. So I kind of wish, like the old games, you know, if you screw it up, it was really fast, really easy to just, you know, instantly reset yourself and try your 2-minute round again. Okay, what the hell, man? Would you grind the way you're supposed to? Dude. Alright. Ah, you stupid. Okay. We're gonna do this. There we go. Alright. That. Okay. Get our rings. Grind the pool. Oh, really? No, face plant. Alright. Face plant, that works too. Alright. No. Damn it. Grind the other way. I had a good run, and it went to shit. I at least like the fact that, like, if you're off track and there's something particular where it wants you to go, I like the fact that you get the arrows. And I'm screwing around. Like, when I got to the pool, all things just, that should have been one of the easier parts for me, but I completely just failed miserably. But there is an objective for you. I think we'll leave this level. I'll show you a little bit of the second level, which I have not hardly played. I played it a little bit for the video yesterday, and prior to that, probably like 2 minutes worth on my own. Let's quit. So, like I said, this is a $60 game. I really feel like I should have, like I said, I should have known better. I feel stupid. I kind of compared it to, you know, like Sonic the Hedgehog fans. They're like, oh no, this time it's gonna be good. Like, I remember Sonic early, you know, 1, 2, and 3 on the Genesis. It's gonna come back, guys. It's gonna be good again. No, it isn't. Sonic has been pretty terrible since the Dreamcast at best. We've had a couple of very basic, or a couple of decent games on the DS or GBA. Maybe 1 or 2 console games, but it's been a disaster for like the last decade or better. Let's load the second level here, and here we got the objectives again. So it's kind of the same thing with Tony Hawk. Like I said, I mean, the 1 through 3 used to be fantastic. I played it at home. All right, well, like I said, I bought a PlayStation for the original Tony Hawk. I played the hell out of Tony Hawk 2 and 3 in college. Some of my fondest dorm memories are getting a group of friends together, playing it in my room, or playing, oh geez, I was going to fall out of the level there, playing it on a big screen TV in our dorm, or taking my GameCube up to one of the academic buildings where we had projectors, wire that sucker in, and playing single player, you know, playing the career with them, doing objectives, playing graffiti, custom skate parks, and just, you know, torturing each other with hellish skate parks to go through. I mean, I loved Tony Hawk 1 through 3, especially I think 3 really, the speed was amped up, the levels were fun, it was the right balance of the, you know, you had the manual, you had 3 introduced the revert at that time. It was just a really fun early games. And then, like I said, you go into these peripheral nonsense, you go into these other strange side offshoots of this series, and it's just, it's a shadow of its former self. Tony Hawk games are not what they used to be. So another thing that I talked about when I did the original version of this video, and here's kind of, while I'm also talking about a rather disappointing game, I would not pay $60 for this game. I would definitely not pay $60. I mean, the first level was, it was okay, but this level, look at this. I mean, there's no color, there's no personality. You know, like I remember Tony Hawk 3, like you had people, like in the Canada level, it was just funny hearing their accents and just like laughing at you when you bit it or whatever. You had the city level where or the town where you had like the cars driving around, the earthquake level. You had the one where you had the guy like trying to always light his grill and is yelling about his lighter fluid, and you know, just, I mean, it was just stupid funny, but it had personality to it. These environments just feel so sterile, and just there's not much there's not much of interest in them. I mean, yeah, there's decent lines, there's ramps, you know, there's lines for combos. There's a fair amount of that in there, and if you get fire, your board kind of bursts into flame, I guess, for a while. That's something, as I glitch through whatever the heck happened there. I don't know, like these arrows here, look at how muddy those look. Like, they just don't look very good at all. Like, this does not look like a current gen game. You know, and the audio, like I said, sound effects, sure, you know, it's skateboard fare, that's fine. None of the songs really jumped out at me. Not very many of them anyway. But what I also talked about when I did the earlier recording of this was my frustration with the way games are covered in the games press, and even to YouTube, on YouTube to some extent, because even some YouTubers, they get paid, or they get the games for free from publishers to promote their game. Which, okay, sure, fine. Now, what I will say, for all you new subscribers, I've covered this in, like, update videos or channel update videos in some cases. I don't know what that is about. But I pay for my games. Let's close this level, and I'm going to go into something else here. I pay for all my games. And I don't, you know, the most I've done is I've gotten a gift game from Jawbreaker, and that's something that we've played cooperatively on the channel sometimes. But then I'll gift him a game back in return. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of the second level. I wasn't really going to go into any objectives there, and then we got some people talking in the background. I figured, that's nothing really I want to deal with right now. So I also wanted to bring up I wanted to go into a player-created level, because here's where I've heard some of the really jankiness comes into play. They're not near as optimized. There's quite a few more glitches and problems with the created levels versus the ones that are, you know, created for the game. But the problem that I have with these reviews and game coverage, take a game like Super Mario Maker that came out a couple weeks ago. I couldn't record it directly, but I just had to give you guys a video for this game because I absolutely love it. It is a fantastic game. I just created another level for it yesterday. The problem is, so that game, you get, there was coverage for it like 3 weeks ahead of time, 2-3 weeks. I think you had pretty good coverage, like people showing off created levels, showing off a few mechanics of it, you know, showing off some of the modes in it, like 3 or 4 weeks ahead of time. Then you would get reviews at least 2 weeks ahead before release. Now, what I will say is I don't even have to pay attention to a review. Like, reviews are pretty much useless these days. And I'll come back to that in just a second. As we load this area here, we can look at our levels. We can follow a user. We can look for. We can sort by user. We can go by pro, I guess. I'm not sure what that means. New levels, most played, and difficulty, and okay, most liked. Okay, Let's just say new. Let's go to new level, see what's out there. Alright, just go there. Sure. The problem, like I said, the problem that I have is that I really, as someone who has to go out and buy the games themselves, whether I'm doing it just for my own enjoyment or even if I'm doing it for the channel, I want the same kind of coverage for all games. Like, I have every right to know if a game is awesome, and I have just as much right to know if a game sucks or has some issues, if a game is broken at launch, if there are stability issues, crashing issues, horrible frame rate issues, other glitches, anything like that. As an end user, we have a right to know that, and we should have, if you're going to let us know how great Mario Maker is 2 weeks ahead of time. Now, granted, I know they're still working on fixes and things up to day one, including day one patches for every game under the sun these days. But the problem that I have is, like, I wish games media would cover games more equally and say, you know what, we're going to cover we're not going to release reviews or information for any game until launch, because that way everything gets the same out the door. We can find out, is a game good, is a game bad. Of course, if the publishers know it's a good game, they want you to promote it early because they know it's a good game. But like with Tony Hawk 5 here, they knew it was a bad game, and they released, they didn't give it to the games press. I heard several sites talk about it. They didn't get anything until release date. And that is a fair sign that a game is not going to live up to what people are hoping it to be. It is just, it's not... Like I said earlier, reviews are kind of useless because all I have to do is look at when did the game come out. Whoa, whatever the hell happened there. When did the review come out and when did the game come out? And I can say, oh, well, gee. Especially for AAA titles, that we didn't hear about it until the day of release. There's probably something wrong. Indie games are a little bit different because they can come out like just out of the blue, like on Steam or like something like that. And what is going on? What? I'm stuck in this corner, and wow. Okay, how do I get out of here? Can I? Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, do I have to reset this level? Wow. Yeah. So there's already a lot more glitches going on. I can definitely. There's a lot more frame. Look at that. There's some really chunky frame rate going. Wow. Yeah. There's some bad frame rate going on here. But like reviews, I don't know. As someone who actually has to buy their games themselves, I think it's only fair that we should get a heads up a little bit ahead of time. I mean, obviously the simple answer is never pre-order a game ever again, which is kind of, especially nowadays, getting to be more solid advice, because I can't tell you how many games just ship broken, or at least really janky. God, look at that. That frame rate is awful. Like, it was just really chuggy. I didn't even have much control. And that's why I've also started getting games more digitally, even on consoles, because, like I said, you get a game on disc. Let's say that 10 years from now, I have some nostalgia for an Xbox One game, or a PlayStation 3 game, whatever. If I own that game on disc, and let's say that I have maybe I had to get a different PlayStation console or a different Xbox or I got a different hard drive because my old one failed, and if the game is no longer supported, or I can't download the content, like the patches anymore, the game that is on these physical discs are broken. Like, they're going to be buggy, in some cases unplayable in certain modes. look at how busted Halo, the Master Chief Collection was for the longest time. I still don't know if it's completely fixed. I don't really play those games multiplayer. I like the campaigns in them. So I don't really know if we're back to normal for those games. But I mean, there's been, over the last 2 years or so, I would say, there's been a lot of games that have just been released in super buggy to broken states. And like I said, you get that version on the disc. That version is essentially useless because what did they say? There was a... Was it a 20 gig patch for the Master Chief Collection? 20 gig? You call that a patch? There are games that are smaller than that now, for God's sake. Tony Hawk, if it was the case where the game was 4 gig and the patch was 6, hello, that's not a patch. That's like, oh, we done fucked up and our game that is on the disc shouldn't have never been released, and we're basically going to give you a whole new build of it. There's just so many things wrong. Like, I know developers don't want to release a crappy game. I understand that. And I understand that, yes, you want to meet your... Whoa, whatever the heck happened there. You want to meet your sales projections, blah, 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 blah. However, I mean, like I said, and the publishers, they won't let, you know, if they know the game is bad, they're not going to let a game outlet cover their game ahead of time, because they don't want people to know that, yeah, we know there are some issues, but we want to make some initial sales from this, so we're gonna kind of unethically just be like, give it to you. Whoa, we'll give you some of the games that we know we want to push or that we know we want to market, and then the rest of them we're just gonna let die, and they'll be covered eventually, and poor saps who buy it on launch day are going to be just kind of screwed. And I don't really know what it would take. You know, like, major game outlets would have to basically all agree, saying, okay, we're not going to cover anything until release date unless things... See, here we go again. Every time I go to this part of the level just bleh, completely chokes. Yeah, it's really frustrating, because I know that there's a lot of cool games, or cool sounding games, coming out this holiday. In the next, let's see, what is it, beginning of October, November, even there's some games in December this year that I'm really potentially looking forward to. And like I said, I don't even have to look at reviews. I know the release date, or I'll look up the release date and say, okay, when are they starting to talk about it? Are we starting to get some early video coverage? All that kind of stuff. Oh, really? And then I fall through again. God dang it. Yeah, it just sucks as a consumer, you know? There we go. So, that is Tony Hawk 5. That is sort of my rant. I know I did it a little bit better last night. It's hard to kind of repeat what I said last night when I tried to record this for the first time. But like I said, I'm just frustrated that we don't get the same, you know, the courtesy of, like, well, you know, game websites and stuff, they get all their stuff for free most of the time. And, you know, they don't have to approach it like, you know, like everyone else. Like, well, if they get their game on launch day, that's fine. Even if it sucks, they didn't have to pay for it. And for the most part, I mean, sometimes they will, just to get things faster, but I just wish that games were treated more universally, so that the end consumer had an equal say, or an equal, they would know equally whether a game was worth buying or not right away. So if anything, you get anything from this, I would say, like I said, as much as you might want to, unless you pretty much absolutely know. Like Mario Maker, I pre-ordered because everything I saw of that game, even if there were little glitches, like, this was a game that I had dreamed about since childhood. And again, even at E3, everyone was raving about how excellent it was, and it turned out to be fantastic. Nintendo has an almost flawless track record of releasing great games. And now I can rate the level, so yeah, we'll like it, sure. They have a pretty flawless record. Like, if they release one of their first-party games, it's generally going to be pretty dang good. You know, but a lot of these AAA games, you know, you get them some from Ubisoft, you get some from Activision, or who, you know, I'm not going to pick on just those two, but any of these AAA games, like, some of them are just like the Assassin's Creed, the Battlefield a couple years ago was completely wrecked, the Master Chief Collection, well, Batman for PC, that one actually got recalled from Steam. When did that release? Like June? And they're still just talking about, well, we think it's going to come out again in October for the PC because it's finally in a playable state. We're kind of hitting it, like I said, a tipping point. It's like you can't trust AAA releases a lot of time anymore. You actually get a little bit more innovation, and you get... Yes, indie games can suck too. They can have their problems too, but I mean, they come out of nowhere, and you know, they're a little bit smaller, and everyone seems to kind of get them. I mean, I guess some people get them ahead of time, but it's a little bit more on equal footing, I think. So enough of ranting about that. I know I got sidetracked from Tony Hawk here, but final verdict for now. They've apparently released some patches for it. It is playable. I did have that one hard crash. I've fallen through the environment a couple of times. I have encountered some weird physics glitches. I've had a couple unresponsive control areas or whatever. The soundtrack is meh, okay. The graphics are really nothing to write home about. They don't feel like a next-gen or a current-gen game really at all. It's clear that the developers, there's a hint of a good game in here. Like, sometimes when I am skating and I'm pulling off a combo, it feels pretty good. But there's still just something about it that something that just does not feel quite right. And maybe I have to level up my skater some more, or whatever, but it is not a $60 game in its current form. I would say stay away from it for now. See what the developer does as far as patches. Maybe they release a major patch eventually, and maybe they fix and add some things. Maybe if it'll go on, you know, like a dirt cheap sale, you know, if it were $10, $15, especially, like I said, there are certain areas where the frame rate gets really bad and kind of becomes unplayable, but I've seen that a lot more in the user-created levels, what I've tried so far, which is a sham because, again, in Tony Hawk 3, I did actually play with the park editor a little bit, and it was kind of fun, and I bet you can make some pretty, like, a little bit bigger levels in this game. But if you do, the frame rate's going to go to complete garbage, so if they can patch that, you know, when it goes on a deep sale somewhere, you can probably get some enjoyment out of it. But unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like, you know, they released it as Tony Hawk 5, you know, the next official numbered sequel in the series, and I don't know that it really earns that. I would kind of go so far as to call it not a good game. I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it as much as some people do, and maybe that's just because it's been patched a little bit, but it's really not what I was hoping for. So it's just a whole bunch of little things add up. You know, some of the weird lobby stuff, some of the way they implement the objectives, some of the way the controls are, some of the way just all these little things just kind of just eat at you a little bit, and it's just not the game you really wanted. So enough rambling, enough complaining. Like I said, this will be the first game of October, kind of a jokingly the first horror game of the month. You know, I guess it's a really big disappointment for me this year. I was really, really, really hoping this would be a great return to the series. So yeah, we'll end it there. Follow me again on Twitter at BGFH79. And like and subscribe. I just looked at the channel earlier this morning to check on something, and it looks like we're just under 300 subscribers as I'm recording this. So pretty cool to see we've been steadily creeping up here quite a bit in the last several months. So thanks a lot, and hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys again later.